Hi and welcome. I'm Howie Forman. I'm the faculty director and professor at the School of Management and the Yale School of Public Health. Welcome to our webinar on the MPH MBA dual degree program. I'm joined here today by three of our current students who I'll introduce in just a minute. I want to first start off by giving you a brief overview of the program and why we think what we offer here is special, unique, and really a program that adds tremendous value to those who want to be involved in healthcare leadership, healthcare management, and play a significant role in population health or public health. We have had a joint degree program at the School of Public Health for a couple of decades at this point, but only in the last 8 years have we initiated the special dual accelerated program, which allows you to complete both the MPH and the MBA degree in approximately 22 months. And we'll go into more of the specifics of what the curriculum looks like in just a minute, but I want to point out that what makes this unique is that you are not doing a watered down curriculum in either school, but fulfilling the absolute full core curriculum of both schools and having the opportunity to do numerous electives within Yale University in fulfillment of your degree. The Yale School of Public Health, as you probably know, has a storied history in public health as a division of the Yale School of Medicine, which is celebrating its, I believe, 150th or 200th anniversary in this past year. We have had many graduates in the healthcare management space. We have an enormous alumni base in healthcare management and healthcare leadership, including academic, corporate, and not-for-profit and public sector roles. We are at the School of Management more new to the business of healthcare management, having initiated the school itself less than 50 years ago and having initiated healthcare involvement in 1998 when we inked our MPH MBA and MD MBA agreements roughly around the same time, and had introduced healthcare management students from the School of Public Health into the School of Management just 2 years before. Since that time, the School of Management has expanded considerably in the healthcare space. And at this point in time, we graduate as a percent of our student body more healthcare-oriented students than any other major business school in the country. We have one of the most successful executive MBA programs in healthcare. As mentioned, we have the MPH MBA program, and we have a highly successful MD MBA program, in addition to many MBA students who are not enrolled in any healthcare program per se, but take one of our dozen or more healthcare-oriented classes at the School of Management. The joint degree program as structured, the 2-year accelerated program as structured, starts off in the School of Public Health, where you spend the first 7 weeks taking 3 courses as part of the core of the School of Public Health, after which you join the orientation program at the School of Management and immediately become immersed into curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular activities over the next 9 months with the School of Management, ultimately ending and segueing into your summer internship experience, which in all but rare instances is a healthcare or public health internship that also matches management competencies in healthcare and leadership. After that, you rejoin the School of Public Health in the subsequent year and split your time between the School of Public Health and the School of Management, completing the degree in early May of the subsequent year, graduating with your School of Management and School of Public Health class at the same time. In addition to our 2-year program, we also have a 3-year program, which is structured so that in general, our students start off with 1 year at the School of Public Health, 1 year at the School of Management, and a 3rd year at the school, split between the School of Management and the School of Public Health. For many people, the advantage to that is more flexibility in elective time, the ability to do an additional internship, the ability to start a little bit later in the summer of your first year. And we've had students that have done both tracks, even though students are very often accepted at the same time, and they self-select into the 2- and 3-year track. The majority of our students do choose, however, the 2-year track to do. I'm going to pause at this point and introduce our panelists and our students so that they can give you a little background in where they come from and what their interests are and what they have found most exciting about the program. And then what we'll do is I'll have a little bit of dialogue with them, asking them some purposeful questions, and then open it up to you to take your questions. So please do send in your questions through the webinar applet. I'm going to introduce Emily Lynn, Jeremy Pincus, and Gus Roman. Emily is in the 3-year program in her second year of 3 years, and Jeremy and Gus are in the 2-year program graduating this year. We'll start with Emily, and they'll give you a little bit of their experience.
Hi everyone. Before coming to Yale, I worked at Mass General Hospital in the Cancer Center as a data analyst. So I was in the administrative space there, and I sort of from when I graduated from undergrad, I knew eventually I would come back and get a master's, but I wasn't sure exactly where I wanted to be. And so, that time working at Mass General, let me realize that is what I wanted to do. And so I came back thinking that I would, came back to school thinking that I would eventually go back into the provider space. And now, I'm realizing that there are a lot more options. So that's been a really great aspect of being at Yale for me. And I started as Howie mentioned, I'm in a 3-year program. I started at the School of Public Health, and then this is my second year where I'm primarily at the School of Management.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jeremy. Prior to Yale, I was in Chicago at Advocate Healthcare, a large provider organization. I started out as the administrative fellow there, and then I moved on into population health and value-based care roles for the next 3.5 years. So very, very much a provider person through and through. I came to this program in particular so that I could pursue opportunities in healthcare consulting. So this past summer, I spent 10 weeks with the Chartist Group out of the New York office, and I'll be going back there full time. I think we'll get into more of my time in the program, but it's been a great experience so far.
Great. Hey, everyone. My name is Gus Roman. So before SOM and School of Public Health, I was working in life science consulting in New York at 2 different boutique consulting firms, Syneos Health and Axel Health. There I worked on corporate development and market access reimbursement type of challenges. While working in that field, I realized that beyond my interest in business, I also had interest in policy, also interest in entrepreneurship and venture capital. I thought the Yale MBA MPH program really allowed me to check off all the boxes more of what I was interested in. So while here, I've been involved in many different extracurriculars that we'll get more in depth, but a healthcare conference has definitely been a highlight. And over the summer, I worked at Pfizer on the strategy and consulting team doing an access strategy project, which was interesting because it allowed me to both work on the corporate strategy side of things, but also the public health lens, because we were working on addressing the patient affordability challenge. And currently I'm actually working part-time at Global Funders Capital on their first healthcare team, focusing on biotech and life sciences as well.
Great. So I'm going to give you 3 questions right up front, and we'll just do them one at a time, and we'll keep going back and forth. And I want to hear, what are the things that you enjoy most from your curricular experiences? And we'll answer all those. Then your co-curricular experiences, things that sort of leverage the actual learning in the classroom. And then lastly, what are your favorite extracurricular activities at Yale, New Haven, or in this community? And we'll start with Gus, and then we'll just keep going back and forth with those 3, starting with curricular.
So classroom?
Yeah.
I think my favorite class right now is policy modeling. It's cross-listed of both the School of Management and the School of Public Health. It's technically stochastic modeling, so it's applying probability models to real-life situations. Today, right before this, actually, we modeled a situation where there's 5 different people communicating a secret, and based on a certain probability, you can then calculate what the probability is that the secret gets out, and it turns out to be pretty high really quickly. We thought that was relevant given the current political news. And Professor Kaplan, who's a very funny guy, kept making some funny analogies. I really like, just in general, the MPH coursework has been a bit more quantitatively driven. My background's actually in chemical engineering, so I love facing a new challenge that involves some amount of code or some amount of quantitative and problem solving. And the SOM courses have been great as well. They tend to be a bit more case study focused, although there's a mix of the case study and the problem solving courses as well.
We'll point out that policy modeling and modeling in general is something that I think Yale has a special comparative advantage compared with probably any other university in the country, and particularly in the public health and public policy space. And Professor Kaplan is, I think, the only person in the country who is a duly elected member of the National Academy of Engineering and the National Academy of Medicine, and is consulted with his policy modeling for both our CIA as well as global sort of intelligence gathering services. So it really is amazing when you take a guy like him who has done major work and major contributions to the healthcare space, but realize how he's able to use that to bridge different disciplines.
Unlike Gus, I'm not an engineer by training. I have a liberal arts background. So my favorite public health course so far, as a member of the 2-year cohort, we arrived on campus in July before we began our MBA. And in that accelerated summer session, we took a social and behavioral sciences survey course, and that was a really amazing exploration of the factors that affect healthcare, the social determinants of health. And it was a summer full of provocative conversation with great folks. We were also in class with members of the 1-year MPH cohort, which is a little bit outside the scope of us today, but we were with other amazing healthcare thinkers, which was a really exciting environment to be in. So because I don't have a background in the quantitative stuff, I'm seeking to stretch those muscles this year while I'm at SOM. And so I'm in a corporate finance class. And given where I want to go, I ultimately want to lead a large healthcare enterprise. I know that these are some of the skills that I have to sharpen, and it's been amazing to have an opportunity to do discounted cash flow models each week and things like that, and struggle with the material in an environment where I'm supported and able to find success.
So last year I was primarily doing the public health core curriculum, and one of my favorite classes in that was the health policy class that we took in the fall. It was, really everything about health policy, and so there's a lot of information, but I think it's really interesting to understand, the history of healthcare in America and how that fits into what I want to do in my career.
Great. I'm going to start off with you then with co-curricular and sort of things that are very much in the healthcare management, healthcare leadership space. What are the things that you've enjoyed most?
So last year I was part of a student consulting group at the School of Public Health, and so there were 3 of us, and we worked on a project with a local behavioral health clinic that was working to become certified to do medication-assisted treatment for opioid use disorder. And so that was a really interesting experience because I was working with 2 other classmates, and it was very open-ended, and so we just did a lot of research on what are the requirements, and then sort of reviewed the clinic's policies and seeing, what do they need to change to be able to be certified for this, and help them actually draft those policies. And so we really got to see the project from beginning to end, and they saw their first clients, in the spring, and so that was really, really rewarding to help, be able to help an organization in the community and also apply things that we had been learning about.
For me, my favorite co-curricular part has to do with Howie. Last year, as a first year in the 2-year program, most Thursday nights, Howie would bring in speakers for the officially Yale Healthcare Colloquium and Healthcare Leadership. He'll give you the official name. If you could just Google Yale Thursday healthcare, I think it comes up.
Yeah.
But it's an opportunity to engage with and have a small roundtable conversation with leaders from every facet of the healthcare space, from folks who ran health plans to key positions in government to leading hospitals to drug access. There may be 50 people in the room, and we all sit at a big wooden table, and we get to ask these folks questions every week. And that was far and away my favorite healthcare-related activity last year.
Yeah, those were great. Love the entrepreneurs that Howie brought in. So I actually have three things. The healthcare conference, the healthcare services innovation case competition, and my time at Elm Street Ventures. Number one, healthcare conference. I'm the co-chair this year, but it is the largest conference that the Yale Graduate School is bringing to New Haven. We have around 600 attendees and 71 speakers across the different healthcare spectrum, so payers, providers, life sciences, public health advocates, entrepreneurs, and it's a very magical experience where the whole building becomes filled with it's 50% professionals, 50% students too, which is a great mix since you get to really intermingle with people all across spectrum, experiences, and whatnot, and we bring lots of talented speakers to campus. Like last year, about Vivian Pinn, like Jonathan Rothberg from the Butterfly Network. Anyone else top of mind?
We had some leading venture capitalists from Silicon Valley. I bet.
Oh yeah, like Stephen Kocher. And then, so moving up forward, I'm working on the Yale Health Services Innovation Case Competition, which Howie's also directly involved in. This case competition is really interesting because we have one sponsor, which is Fox Rehab this year, and we work to interview them and really work to solve their strategic challenges and add value to the organization. So this year we're getting some data from them. Again, we did some executive interviews where like the deliverable that is going to be the winner and the winning team gets $10,000, which we're really thankful for Fox Rehab to be able to provide, will directly go to the organization, and there might be opportunity for them to hire students out of this competition as well. And then the third and last thing is I've done some part-time work for Elm Street Ventures. They're a New Haven-based biotechnology venture capital firm, which I was able to leverage some of the skills from my prior job, but also be able to meet some entrepreneurs in the Yale biotech ecosystem working to commercialize some of the technology produced in the life sciences department here at Yale.
Let me just pause with that. We'll come back to the extracurricular and just talk a little about the colloquium and a little more about the healthcare conference. The healthcare colloquium over a 2-year period brings about 30 or 35 speakers to campus that can become part of your network, that allow for an engaging conversation about topics that may be very near and dear to your heart, or even far afield from what your interests are. I've been very pleased to see students come through the program starting off wanting to go into consulting and ending up working in life sciences, or coming in from a life sciences background and ending up working in public service or government. And I think one of the advantages of having these small group settings is for students to be able to explore career paths and the decision making that people who have reached leadership positions have found themselves in, and how they've made those decisions. Similarly, I would say the healthcare conference is yet a different opportunity for amazing networking experience. Our students get to directly invite the speakers who come here. You said 71 last year, but we joke about the fact that when we first started the healthcare conference, probably close to 15 years ago now, we would beg people to be our keynotes. Now we have people begging to be in a breakout session because we've really elevated the conference to a level that people are very excited to engage. I have people that come here and say, I'd love to come there because I want to recruit from your students, which is another point that, as a director is music to my ears when I have somebody. I had it just yesterday again, talking to a key leader of a large healthcare system saying, I really want to get on the schedule next year because we really should be doing better recruiting at Yale. That is one of the things that makes Yale special, is that not only are we bringing people to you that you can meet and that will augment your network, but those people are just as excited about coming here and forming alliances and connections so that they can recruit from Yale. And I think that's one of the things that makes the program so strong and so special, is this enormous and growing alumni base and network that you take with you when you leave here, and that stays with you forever. I just had a student call me who had graduated 3 years ago and say, I'm back looking for a job. She's actually doing extremely well in her current job, but is looking for new opportunities. And she said, I won't mention the company, but here's a company I'm really excited about. And this is a company we're very excited about as well. The CEO is coming to speak here in just a few weeks, so it's something that I'm very familiar with. But more than that was that just 2 weeks before that, I had gotten an email from another student in the same class saying, by the way, I've just left my other job and I've gone and joined this company. So people are converging in different places, and we're able to put people in touch with one another because of this amazing network that we've been able to assemble. So moving from sort of the curricular and the co-curricular, let's talk about what are the fun things that you have found special about New Haven, about Yale University, or about your commute to New York occasionally. We'll start with Gus again.
I'll go with 3 things again. Number 1 being SOM Hockey Club. It's a really fun extracurricular. We do it every Wednesday nights at 9. I think last night we had like 200 students participate of all different skill levels. And it's a great opportunity to meet people outside of your interests or programs and just get along and play some hockey. And we have a beautiful ice rink like 5 minutes away, so it's great to take advantage. Number 2, I'm part of the Association of Latin American and Hispanic Students. As I was born in New Jersey, my parents were Colombian immigrants, and it's great to be part of a community that feels truly inclusive, and we do through a lot of good fun parties as well. And number 3, to Howie's last point, I really like to travel, and I spent my past 4 years in New York, and the ability to the ability to commute to New York in a 2-hour, $17 trip while not having to pay the New York cost of living is pretty huge. And also, I think a lot of students are like-minded in their interest of traveling, and I travel a lot with lots of students. We did like a 70-person Mexico City trip. I'm going to Berlin next week. It's a very exciting community to be a part of.
I'm going to have 3, I suppose. One of them will be healthcare. This year, I'm a student fellow at the Solomon Center for Health Law and Policy out of Yale Law School. And so while it seems like it's work-related, it's an amazing opportunity for scholars and faculty across the university, and also graduate students across the university from med, law, business, public health, anywhere, to come in and think and convene and write and host speakers around the pressing healthcare topics of the day. Just last week, we had our Affordable Care Act at 10 conference, and basically everybody but Barack Obama, who was involved in passing the law, came to campus and spoke, and that was a really exciting opportunity. So outside of healthcare, I'm into road biking, and I'm on the Yale cycling team, which is for all graduate students and undergrads, and we go out 3-4 times a week and do 20 to 50 miles, and it's a wonderful way to see New Haven, see Connecticut, get some exercise, and do something different. Lastly, the food here is great. A pizza is a key part of the culinary scene here, so never gets old trying all the pizza spots.
And if I cut you off from the co-curricular, I want to just make sure you have a chance to that as well. Okay. Anything you want to add?
Okay. I guess I'm from New Haven originally, so it's been really great for me to be back. I love this area, and it's nice to be home again. And another thing that I have really enjoyed is through the School of Public Health. Just one of my classmates last year set up a matched people with other people that wanted to work out, so it's called Swole Mates. And so I have a buddy that I go to the gym with, which is really fun because it's someone I might not have met otherwise, and we have they matched us based on similar gym habits, and it's really good to be held accountable like that. So it's been fun.
Good. And I just want to add, you mentioned Jeremy about the law school conference. This campus is a very small campus. And, we have a divinity school, we have a law school, med school, public health school, the undergraduate Yale campus, forestry, all within walking distance. I mean, legitimately all within walking distance. And on that singular campus on any given day are, titans of industry, leaders of society. I was walking back from my economics class about a week ago. It was during the UN General Assembly week. And, of course, there's this long line of Suburbans. And I said, what world leader is here? And, without even missing a step, 30 feet later, you see in the back of each of the Suburbans, delegation from Sierra Leone. And and state police and I don't think Secret Service, but county police and New Haven police and Yale police, everything was just taking over the area. That's such a special thing about Yale, that on any given day, you look out there and you're going to see Henry Kissinger visiting, or Jeb Bush visiting. All across the spectrum, you're going to have people on this campus that would just blow your mind. Hillary Clinton is here at least once a year. John Kerry has a program here right now. Tony Blair had a program here for 3 years in a row. This is something that I think all of you get to experience in small little bits, and you're aware of it. But whether you embrace it in a big way or a small way, it's there for you. And that's one of the things that I think makes Yale so special. I'll also point out that the School of Management's flexibility in terms of taking electives, and quite frankly, the School of Public Health's flexibility in taking electives, means that courses across the entire university are available to you. And I don't know, have any of you taken a class at the law school?
I'm taking FDA law right now, which is cross-listed with School of Public Health as well.
Right, which really is a law school class. I think it's the first year that we're actually offering a separate session through the public health school, but it's Aaron Kesselheim's class,
he's great.
which is really through the law school. And the number of courses that our students are able to take at varied schools within Yale is one of the other pluses that we're able to offer that a lot of other places don't offer. I'm going to come with another question, but I just want to make sure, I keep looking at this only because this is how we're going to take our questions. I have a couple of questions coming in now. Can I just remind you all, this is a good time to send in your questions, because I'm going to wrap up my part of this in the next few minutes. So send in any more questions you have right now. So can you tell us a little bit about teamwork, group work, and what your experience is like at Yale? You talked about one-on-one work, and you've talked about working in a huge conference. But what has your experience been like working in the School of Management, both in healthcare classes and non-healthcare classes, with teams? Sure.
So from the perspective of someone in the 2-year cohort, my class is 9, or our class is 9, and we all arrived in July. And so the 9 of us are particularly close because we spent 6 weeks together on campus doing our accelerated public health core. And so that was a great opportunity to get back in the habit of working in academic teams with peers and folks with different backgrounds. And so as a social plug, it's an incredible tool to have that community of friends, but before the first day of business school starts, should you choose to do the 2-year program. Once at SOM, in your first year, basically every assignment that you do in fall 1 and fall 2 is group work. And so the school goes to great lengths to massage and make sure and equip you with the tools and resources and supports to have your teams be successful. Because again, everything that you submit to the school in your first semester, more or less, is group work. And because they go to such great lengths to build teams randomly with different backgrounds and experiences, everybody has a lot to offer. I joked before, I'm not a quantitative guy, but every little team has someone who used to be a banker or a consultant or something like that, and everybody's got someone that knows how to write. And so the teams are designed to be successful, and it's just up to you and your team to really roll up your sleeves and sink into making the work happen.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I can go. Yeah, it's a really difficult question for me to answer because I'm just turning the wheels in my head. I've worked on so many different teams of so many different compositions since coming to SOM. And personally, my job before SOM was a small 28-person company. So my project teams there were sometimes just me and the partner, or me and 2 other people. Then jumping into SOM with the core, you get on purposely designed 8-person teams that eventually become 4-person teams that represent the microcosm that the Yale community represents. And I can say sometimes it can be a bit challenging, but it's definitely a learning experience that, sometimes you work with people that may not come from the same background, same industry, the same mindset as you. And that's just one example. So healthcare conference, we have a 12-person executive team, and we manage 600 attendees and a 50-person volunteer team during the healthcare conference itself. Even things like hockey, I play on randomly selected teams as well of people that I also had no idea before. But I think that goes on to the greater point that I think one of the biggest pieces of value from business school has been this team-based experience, both being a leader of teams and also being an active participant and communicator within teams. So I'm really thankful for SOM to give me all these different opportunities to work on teams of all different natures.
Great. I'm going to move to the questions because we've got a lot of good questions coming in. The first one for the two of you, is there still time, you've sort of answered it, but is there still time to participate in extracurricular and community events when you're in the accelerated 2-year program?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. We take similar courses to other students in the School of Management. We do disproportionately take more school electives in the School of Public Health. Those courses are mostly courses I'd be self-choosing to take anyways. But yeah, we have plenty of time to do too much extracurriculars.
Great. The next question, which I think all three of you can answer, and this can refer both to the classes you're in as well as the students that have come before you that you've spoken to, some when you were being recruited. Tell us a little bit about what are the different types of career paths you've seen by our joint degree students. And any of you can answer.
You first.
Okay. I think people do a really wide variety of things. I think some people do administrative fellowships in hospitals. Some people do like healthcare consulting. I'm sure there are a lot of other things too.
I would say coming out of the program, there's a clustering around consulting, around like life sciences work, and probably around other. And Gus could probably speak more to other than I could. I did the consulting recruiting path last year as a first year at SOM. I recruited at 9 places, and then I landed at a provider-only healthcare consulting firm. That's what I wanted to do coming into school, so it's amazing to be able to have that opportunity and see that through. But are also folks who just want to do mental health work, or just folks that want to go work in the payer space. I think every year, because of the backgrounds that we all bring into the program, that Howie painstakingly makes sure that we're all different and diverse, and that we bring our unique perspectives. That then means that we then go on to do different things. So there's not one cookie cutter way, but a lot of us are in consulting, a lot of us are in life sciences, a lot of us are in the payer space.
Yeah, so jumping off what Jeremy said, I see the 3 main areas of the healthcare being like life sciences, providers, and payers. And we have people covering all 3 of those areas. Whether you're working for a provider or you're working for a consultant firm that's working for providers, as Jeremy does, those are both covered as well. I also think that there's been a growing presence of entrepreneurship on campus. So I'm personally actually jump-starting a digital health club here because I think that's where there's a lot of innovation happening within healthcare. And again, digital health usually touches the intersection between the payer, providers, and life sciences as well. There's the other category that Jeremy alluded to. So I'm working in venture capital right now, and that's why I hope to be in full-time after business school. And we actually had someone in our program, one of our really good friends who actually worked at Bridgewater this summer. And she has a background in scaling mental health startups from Stanford to India. So with the Yale degree, it can really take you to places. It takes a little bit of hustle to get to some of these more alternative career paths, but the paths definitely exist.
I do want to point out we have at least one of our dual degree graduates working in global health and in sub-Saharan Africa. So we do very well. I mean, this is what is nice about Yale is that even though it's a small school and you might think it's a smaller network and we're not recruited from every single firm like a much larger school might be, on the other hand, we have connections to just about every firm you could imagine, and we're able to position people for whatever they want to do ultimately. The next question is, I'll read it out loud. But it sounds like there's a lot of expertise in health policy, and it's a focus of the MBA, MPH curriculum. Can you speak more about the intersection of health policy and the SOM curriculum, and how you think it prepares you for your career goals? And you can take that and add to it if you want.
So the intersection of policy and the SOM specifically?
Yeah, in other words, I think they're correct in saying that we're unique in the way that I think we have everything is sort of infused with a little bit of policy. People understand policy. When you think about the healthcare economy, it's $3.5 trillion, but it's all policy one way or the other. Government's involved somehow. How do you see the intersection of that with what you're learning at SOM, and how is that informing your career path?
So I guess, first of all, a lot of professors at Yale in health policy are, have touched things that affect your life, and you don't necessarily know that they are behind it. But, it's really, I think, really interesting to me when, something I'm reading in some other area references a professor that I know from Yale. So that I think is really interesting. And then also, I guess, Howie teaches a class here at SOM that's about healthcare, finance, and economics, and also policy. And so I guess that is a very, I think, application-based class. So it's, what does the policy actually look like in the real world? So I think that's interesting.
I would start by saying that as you come to Yale and you start out your first year at SOM, you're exclusively in core classes the entire first semester, and then the vast majority of the second semester. And you may have gone on to other webinars just for SOM specifically, or looked at the website, but SOM has an integrated core curriculum that is focused on infusing the perspectives, multidisciplinary perspectives across the core disciplines of management science. So the accounting, the finance, the econ is not just this is how you do a model, but it's also that this is the context around which we make decisions around the models that we produce. And so when you marry that up with your own individual passion for healthcare, it's really exciting when in the customer class we're talking about heart valve things and how do you go to market for a heart stent, and you can provide your perspective that from the policy classes that you've taken elsewhere. I think as you mature in your time at Yale and move into your second year, where you have much more time to take electives and really flex those muscles for the classes that you, I'll say, want to take. Not that you don't want to take the core classes, but your schedule is pretty much laid out for you your first year. In the second year, then you're able to do a policy modeling class, which is truly at the intersection of policy and management. And in general, there are so many dual degree students from all schools that are taking classes here at SOM, that the public health perspective is one that is so important to hear and so refreshing to hear, and that being able to provide that perspective in the classroom environment, in the core, in the electives is just a wonderful thing, and you'll find that healthcare comes up more often than not in these classes.
Yeah, and I'll take a deeper dive on the electives portion on this. So personally, as I alluded to, I have a strong interest in policy, quantitative coursework, and also entrepreneurship. So policy modeling is a perfect example of a class that covers both. FDA law, for example, is a class that's very policy focused. Even my advanced spreadsheeting course last year, which was one of my favorite courses since I have a weird thing for Excel. The professor, Eddie Pinker, he actually does most of his research in healthcare operations. So he would bring in healthcare type of examples for these real life operations problems. And and courses like venture capital, there's two different cases that involve this healthcare angle where you have to consider the policy implications as well. If you're proactive, it's really, there's a lot of different course offerings and activities that really overlap between the School of Management and School of Public Health. And also I have to say, one of my favorite part about these courses is that the students who take these courses are very diverse. In my policy modeling course, we did a raise your hand exercise, and maybe like a fifth MBAs, a fifth college students, a few PhDs, a few engineers, really covering the gamut of what the Yale ecosystem offers. And I think that's what makes a lot of these courses really interesting, is the discussions that erupt due to these different backgrounds in the classrooms.
Great. This one I think is easy, but we'll see who wants to answer it. Yale is known, and I think they mean Yale SOM, but also Yale University is known for their mission-driven culture. How does this play out in practice for this program? You have specific examples, or do you feel like it's infused? Do you feel like that's something that you're aware of every day?
So I'll crib a line from our new dean, Kerwin Charles. He's amazing, and he had a town hall yesterday, and another version of this question was asked, and he basically said, it's not where you go, it's how you do it. And so I think the education and the perspective that SOM provides its students in the environment that we all exist in and learn in doesn't necessarily matter if you go to a nonprofit or to a healthcare provider or to an investment bank. The way we're taught to think and the way we're taught to interact and the values that are elevated here of thinking about the larger context and the implications for society and supporting our peers, that is really imbued through everything that we do here.
I agree. I'm going to go to the last question and then allow you to add anything individually as well. This is a simple one. How did you adjust to the area and the community? And you might want to start.
I think my answer is probably different from the others because this is where I'm from. I'm coming home, so for me it's been great. I like New Haven a lot, and I like Connecticut, so I think New Haven is a good mix of, like, if you want to get out of the city, it's really easy to. There's 2 state parks really close. You can go hiking and stuff like that, but there's also, I think New Haven has pretty decent restaurants, and there are a lot of like cultural activities through Yale. And as Gus mentioned, it's very easy to get to New York, and Boston's pretty easy as well. So.
New Haven's been great. I live downtown. You live both East Rock, or?
I live in Hamden, actually.
Hamden? Oh, okay. You live at home. But yeah, I enjoy town. Lots of great restaurants. You can find cuisine of all sorts. I do love New York, I do have to say. So I do take like monthly trips there, not more. But I really like the Yale community. I think one of our strengths is that the fact that it is such a small and tight-knit community. I really have gotten the opportunity to meet every single person in the business school by this point. And I can say friends at other business schools that might be in bigger cities that get a bit diluted may not be able to say the same thing. So I think it's a big pro of how close-knit New Haven enables a community to be.
New Haven's great. We're 20 minutes from the beach in the summer. There's hiking. It's a wonderful place. I'm from Chicago. My wife is from New York, and we both love New Haven. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise that New Haven is not great, because New Haven is indeed great.
It is great. I want to thank all 3 of you for joining us. I want to thank all of you for joining the webinar, either live or follow-up. All of our email addresses are just firstname.lastname@yale.edu, and I think they'll be provided with the webinar. If you have any questions for any of us, please feel free to reach out, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.